welcome to Hopkins High School. A scorching afternoon for Section 6 4A baseball. It's the championship round. The 4th seed St. Louis Park needing 2 wins, and the number 2 seed Hopkins in the driver's seat needing just 1 win to take this section title after an earlier win over the Orioles in the tournament. I'm Jay Wilcox along with Drew Keogh. And we're on the turf here at Hopkins, which adds to the heat, I think, a little bit for these teams. But they're gonna do their best to battle through it here, and should be a good matchup here. Teams with similar records and had similar seasons, and certainly look for good battle here as Jackson View, the righty for Hopkins, completing his warm-up tosses. St. Louis Park will be the visitor for this game, and if there does happen to be a game 2, there would be a coin flip for that. And here's the lineup for Brian Kelly and the Orioles. Stanley Regenti, the left fielder, leads it off. Then the shortstop, Ben Farley. Christopher Hopkinson, the right fielder, hits third. Then it's Drew Boyum at third base. Ethan Schmitz, the pitcher. Stefano Giovanelli in center field. Zach Helfman, the catcher. Henry Odens, the second baseman. And Brady Walsh, the first baseman, hitting in the 9 slot for the Orioles. Regenti stepping in against Jackson View. First pitch taken for a ball. Regenti leads their team in average, hitting .369, 24 runs scored, a .454 on base percentage as well. And that one down low for ball 2. And I was kind of kidding earlier today. The Orioles have kind of in the last week and a half or so have kind of done a number on the teams in the CCX viewing area. They've beaten Osseo, Armstrong, Wayzata, and Maple Grove. Some of them in the tournament, some at the end of the regular season. So they're kind of laying waste to the teams in our area, and Hopkins will try and change that here today. That one is taken up high for a ball. So Regenti drawing a leadoff walk. He did walk 10 times this coming into this. So here's the defense for Jason Michalakis and the Royals. Jake Perry, Jake Primusberger, Maddox, Michalakis, and Brock Zimmer around the infield. Mauser, Safransky, and Sculati in the outfield. Nordine behind the plate, and Jackson View, the right-hander, pitching, and there's a strike. View is really one of 2 guys who have thrown the bulk of their innings this year, along with Ryan McGee. And View, a 5-2 record, 3.08 earned run average this season. That one misses for a ball. He has started 6 games, pitched 36 1/3 with 21 walks, 32 strikeouts, and he's allowed 32 hits. So not an overpowering guy, but he's certainly had a solid year for the Royals.
Yeah, he last game I saw him play earlier in the section tournament here, he did a similar start. I think he walked his first 2 batters and then settled in after that. Coach came out after the first 2 walks, I believe, and settled him down and got him to throw some strikes and got outs.
Runner was going. Michalakis ranging over to field it. They'll get the out at first base, but Regenti advances to second on the play as the Orioles do like to run a bit. They've got some decent stolen base numbers. Of course, Hopkins staying in the winner's bracket certainly sets them up better in terms of having pitching availability today. The standout junior, University of Minnesota recruit Christopher Hopkinson for St. Louis Park, had to pitch against Maple Grove the other day, and he's stepping up to bat right now. So they're gonna, obviously that's a guy that they would like to have starting this game, or if there were game 2, but not going to be the case because of having to work hard the other day.
Yeah, he's definitely their number 1, and he has been for quite a while. And even 2 years ago, people were looking at him as a freshman, saying, "Watch this kid as he starts to put on some weight and build some muscle. He's going to start throwing the ball pretty hard and be able to locate pitches and actually become a true pitcher instead of just a thrower." And that's what we've seen him do this year at St. Louis Park.
Hopkinson lifting this one out to left center field. Catch made, runner is tagging, and Regenti will advance to third on the play. So it's an out, but a somewhat productive out there for Hopkinson. Obviously, he got underneath that one more than he would have liked, and a relatively easy opportunity there. And Hopkins kind of had him played well there. Mauser, the left fielder, was a long way off the line, and he didn't have to move very far for that one.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised. They had a huge shift on for a dead pull hitter there. Hopkinson's one of those bats that, you kind of want to stop and watch him swing when he's at the plate. And unfortunately, just got underneath that one. There was a big gust of wind. It's kind of breezy out here, but get that ball up in the air, and it's going to be pushed out to the outfield and add an extra 10, 15 feet to some of these fly balls, and he just missed that one. He's got pop, and he can easily put it out of the park, but not that time.
Drew Boyum takes a curveball that is up there. Boyum hitting .297 this year, 7 doubles, 15 runs batted in. He's also walked 15 times. Looking like a relatively tight strike zone in the early part of this game. View, I think a couple of them that he thought maybe he would get a call on but didn't. That one is over for a strike, and just as I say that, Boyum didn't like that one.
Yeah, I think you're going to see a pretty tight strike zone. When you get later into sections, umpires expect good pitching, good solid pitching and location.
This one drilled out to left. That is going to be down for a hit, and St. Louis Park on the board, and it hops over the fence. It will be a ground rule double for Boyum. Regenti scores, and the Orioles quickly jump out on top 1-0 here in the top of the first.
Yeah, nice solid contact line drive down the left field line. Left fielder really didn't have much of a chance to field that ball. And once it gets by him, these short fences, not distance-wise, but height-wise, it's going to hop over, especially on this turf, and easily end up with a ground rule double there. Yeah,
and I think in looking at it again, the odds, nothing would have changed. That ball would have been a double.
Yep.
Regardless, I think. Ethan Schmitz is the hitter now for Park. Ethan hitting .264, 19 runs batted in, 6 doubles, 1 triple. But today he'll be counted on, even more important as a hitter, as their starting pitcher here today. And Coach Kelly said, it's got to be all hands on deck pitching-wise today. And he said, I told Ethan, I want you to come out there and attack things 1 inning at a time. Almost like you're a closer to start the game. We can't afford to be pacing ourselves or anything, even as hot as it is and as maybe not everybody available to pitch today. We've still got to be coming out and being aggressive against the team that's probably considered the favorite in Hopkins, since they're the team with no losses.
Yeah, and Hopkins has a really powerful offensive lineup, and that's where Brian was saying that every pitcher has to be ready. Every pitcher that's available has to be ready to pitch and throw strikes and get out there when they can.
Knocked up the middle there and handled flawlessly for the Royals by Primusburger. So 6-3 on the putout of Schmitz. However, St. Louis Park does come up with 1 run in the inning on 1 base hit. No errors, and they leave 1. So after a half inning, a good start for St. Louis Park as they get that 1 run on the scoreboard here. And as the sun goes behind the clouds, the temperature feels like it dropped about 30 degrees here. Hopkins will get their first opportunity, and as Drew said, a pretty good hitting team. Jake Perry will lead it off, their third baseman. And then it's Jack Bowser in left field. Ryan McGee, who's had a big bat as well as being one of their pitchers, was the DH. Brock Zimmer at first base. Maddox Mikalakis battling a little bit of an injury, but in there at second base. Primusburger made that play at short. Luke Nordin, a good catcher, hitting 7th. Scolati hits 8th, and Safransky, the center fielder, hitting in the 9 slot here for Hopkins. And defensively then for Park, they've got Boyum at 3rd, Farley at shortstop, Odens is at 2nd, Brady Walsh at first base, Regenti in left, Giovanelli in center, and Hopkinson playing right field. Helfman is the catcher. And doing the pitching is Ethan Schmitz, the right-hander who's had their 3rd most innings, and Coach Kelly said, yeah, it's probably fair to call him our number 3 guy. 1-3 record, 3.85 earned run average in 20 innings, has allowed 25 hits with 6 walks and 14 strikeouts. So Boyum and Hopkinson have kind of carried the bulk of the innings for them this year, but they do have a handful of guys who have pitched, and that's always how it goes in these double elimination tournaments. You're going to have to rely on a number 3 and 4 guy if you're that team that winds up, taking a loss early in the tournament.
Yeah, more often than not, it's the team that has the best 1, 2, and a 3 or 4 to follow up and clean up those innings in a close game, and that's kind of the reason that Hopkins is in the position they are. Is they have a pretty good 1-2. St. Louis Park 2 does as well, but their offense it's not as aggressive or explosive as the Hopkins offense. And that's what we saw in the first meeting between these two teams. I think it was 3-2 after the first, but then Hopkins blew it open in the 4th inning with a string of base hits.
So here's Jake Perry. We mentioned Hopkinson is a Gopher recruit. Perry, a Gopher recruit for Hopkins. Check out a story on him this week done by my co-worker Jason Malillo on ccxmedia.org as a spotlight athlete of the week for Hopkins. As Perry hitting .380 this year. He's got 4 doubles, 3 triples, 3 home runs. Takes that one for a strike.
Yeah, and Perry here following in the footsteps of his father, a good Hopkins baseball player, played some high school baseball, played some Legion baseball on some great teams, and now he's, living the life as a good baseball player here for Hopkins as himself, and, trying to wear that Royals jersey and be a star for the Hopkins Royals baseball program here.
3-1 count for Perry. That one is over for a strike. It's interesting when you're the team that has the 0 losses coming in. You want everybody to be confident, but you also don't want them to kind of be too nonchalant. You want you go aggressive after this first game win. And there is a single for Perry to start things out. They had him really played the pull, and he went up the middle a little bit more, and no chance for the second baseman Odens to get to that ball. So Perry will strike a leadoff single here for Hopkins as they try and answer the run that the Orioles put up in their half of the first.
Yeah, nice piece of hitting. With 2 strikes, you got to protect the plate. May have been ball 4, but close enough for him to take a good swing. And he didn't try and crush it. He just squared it up and put it up in the middle of the field. And with the second baseman playing in a pull, he was able to get on base.
So Mauser will step in, and he smokes that one past the third baseman into left field. So back-to-back singles. Not a surprise, I guess, to see Mauser do that since he is hitting .457 this year. And keep in mind, Hopkins' schedule is probably among the tougher in the state. To be hitting at that kind of clip is pretty impressive. And then you got Ryan McGee stepping up, and Ryan McGee's done okay too. .431 average, 7 home runs, and 17 runs batted in. And he's also, as we said, a good pitcher. Saw him in that earlier telecast in the regular season against Wayzata.
Yeah, he's got a good, strong stance, and looking at his pitching line, you think he's just kind of one of the specialty pitchers. But see him come up to plate, he's got a big frame, good, strong stance, and looks like he's got a lot of confidence at the plate as well.
Had a big cut at that one, but missed it. So McGee, I think part of the reason he's DHing is that they figure there's a chance he might have to pitch today, and when it's 95 plus, you probably don't want your pitcher standing around in the field all that much, so got him as the DH. Breaking ball outside there from Schmitz.
Yeah, and early in the game, runners on first and second with nobody out, down 1-0 at home. You would expect a sacrifice bunt, but not with a hitter like McGee at the plate when he can hit the ball out of the park and easily make it 3-1 with one swing or put it in the gap pretty easily.
Breaking ball here, got out front of that one, hit it hard, but well foul.
Again, 2 strikes. Don't want to, take a huge hack at anything. If it's right down the middle, you want to square it up as much as you can. But anything close, you want to protect and at least move the runners from, from first to second and third.
Fouls this one out of play as the battle continues between McGee and Schmitz. St. Louis Park's done a nice job really building their program. I mean, there were long stretches where you wouldn't have really penciled them in as a contender in this section. McGee hits this one well out to left center field, and it will bounce over the fence for a ground rule double. The lead runner will score, but Mauser will have to stop at third. Perry is in. It's 1-1, and there's a case where probably that, bouncing over might have cost them the chance to score that second runner. It's hard to say for sure, but they'll take it. It's a double for McGee, and not the start that Schmitz had in mind here for Park. 3 hard hit balls off him from the first 3 hitters.
Yeah, good solid contact to left center field. That's your power gap. When you can hit the ball to that side of the field, that means you got a good swing going, and got a little underneath it, but hit it hard enough to get to the fence, and on this turf it's going to bounce up over that fence most of the times.
Brock Zimmer not able to hold up. He swung at that one, and I think some in the Hopkins dugout were hoping that Mauser would have tried to score on that one, but didn't happen. So stays second and third, nobody out, and Zimmer will try and bring 1 or 2 of these guys home. Oof, big rip and a miss at a curveball there.
Yeah, I think he was expecting a fastball there, but ended up swinging over that curveball, and now he's down 0-2. He's got to protect the plate.
Park playing in at the corners, but in the middle, they're kind of back at regular depth here. It's so early in the game. I don't think you really can afford to play the infield fully in here. You just have to hope to string a couple of outs together, even if that means another run scoring.
Yeah, there's a lot of baseball to be played, and you don't want to really put yourself in a position to let something that would typically be an out get through the infield and try and, force that play at home.
Zimmer lifting one out to right field. A long run down the line for this one. Catch is made. Runner is tagging, and it will be enough to score the run. Throw late coming to third, and it gets away. McGee will get up and come in, and that's a mistake St. Louis Park would like to have back, as that throw to third was off target. So 2 runs come in to score. Sacrifice fly, 1 RBI for Zimmer, and then a throwing error on the catcher, Helfman, to allow that second run to score. Probably one that you just want to hang on to there.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't really have much of a chance at third base, and especially with getting out at on the fly ball. You don't want to create a big inning, but you throw in the dirt, gets by the third baseman, and that third run, the second run on the plate comes in and scores.
Mikolakis takes that one for a ball. Maddox hitting .256 this year, 4 doubles, a couple of homers. I was going to say on that play earlier, there was almost going to be maybe a decision to make for Hopkinson, but it ended up staying fair anyway, so we had to catch it. I was thinking, do you if it's foul, do you think about letting it drop? But probably this early in the game, I think you'd just go ahead and catch that one anyway.
Yeah, I think you take the outs when you can, especially against this Hopkins team, and you want to get off the field as soon as possible.
Mikolakis will draw a walk, so things not going as planned early here for Park, and there's already going to be Brian Kelly coming out to have a little conference with Schmitz and his defense.
Yeah, I mean, this is just more of a make sure everybody's calm and relaxed. He's going to make a pitching change. I think he feels that, things weren't going the way he started, or he was expecting them to start. And, I was messaging him earlier in the day, and he said he's got to play clean. He said he's got to play a clean game for them to have a chance. Got to hit to win. So far, not what he was expecting, so he's going to make a change, and hopefully the Orioles can rally for this Park team.
Show you a little bit about how things have shaped up here in this Section 6 4A tournament, and had a pretty interesting mix of teams coming in. I mean, nobody who was like 20-0 or anything like that, but a lot of pretty good ones. Wayzata was the top seed, and you see they had a good first-round win, but then this Park team shut them out in round 2. Maple Grove was a newcomer to this section, and they got a nice win over Armstrong before Hopkins took it to them pretty good. And you see as we progress along how things went. Armstrong stayed alive, and then Maple Grove knocked them out. Wayzata stayed alive, and Maple Grove was able to knock the Trojans out. But then it was St. Louis Park doing the honors, ousting Maple Grove to get to this game. Meanwhile, Hopkins was able to stay clean all the way into this winner's bracket and really not challenge that much. I mean, they've played well throughout this tournament, while the others have sort of taken turns knocking each other off a little bit. So Henry Odens will come on to pitch here for St. Louis Park, and Schmidt's going to replace him at second. Odens this year 1-0, 0.62 ERA. He's only worked 11 1/3, allowing 6 hits with 4 walks and 4 strikeouts. So Odens will relieve Schmidt, who only works 1/3 of an inning, allowing 3 runs so far, and he's responsible for Mikolakis at first. Jack Primesberger is the hitter. Little tapper in front of the plate, and the flip to first, close play. Now a throwback to second as Mikolakis rounded it quite a ways there, but so they get the out. It's not a sacrifice per se, but kind of works the same. Mikolakis down to second, and now Luke Nordin will be the hitter as Primesberger just got a little tapper off the end of the bat.
Yeah, nice play there by the catcher to hop out of his stance and make a good, clean pick of the ball right in front of the plate, and then a good throw down to first base. Didn't try and throw too hard enough to get that out.
Nordin hitting .305, a couple of home runs for the Royals this year, and has driven in 8 runs. They want to be greedy here. 3 is good, but 4 would be even better if he could knock in the Mikolakis here with 2 outs. Takes that one up high for a ball from Odens.
Yeah, emotions play a big part in this game, especially at this level. High school level section finals. The bigger lead you can get, it puts the other team in a big hole, and they kind of get defeated and down. And when it's hot and late in the season, that stuff kind of adds up real quick.
3-0 count here. I was talking with Coach Michalakis from Hopkins about that, and he said, yeah, in high school ball, it just the team that builds an early lead wins an awful lot, especially in these 7-inning games. Nordine will draw a walk here. See if they might run for him. I would suspect that they will.
Yeah, and one of those things that really adds up quickly is just sitting out there on the turf as these innings kind of draw out, and sitting out there for 10-15 minutes at a time is pretty draining. And seeing your team give up a couple runs early in the game is also a little disheartening. But for St. Louis Park, you want to get this third out and get off the field and get the bats at the plate.
Sam Harris will run at first base as Americo Scarlatti will step in. He's hitting .235 this year. Fouls this one down the right field side, and it'll get out of play.
This is one of my favorite names. There's another name on St. Louis Park, Stefano Giovanelli is a fun one. Let's see how Kaz pronounces that one, because that's a fun name to say too.
And Coach Kelly told me the easy way to remember how to pronounce the first name is that he goes by Fano, so he's Stefano. Lifted out to left field, and this one drifting back, and caught. But boy, it just kept carrying. Regenti had to go back a long way for that ball from the number 8 hitter. Hopkins done in the first. They do come up with 3 runs in the inning on 3 base hits, 1 error, and they will leave a couple. It's 3-1 Royals after an inning.
CCX Media is the first place you go for local news and sports. But did you know you can sign up for those stories to go straight to your inbox on our website? Simply go to ccxmedia.org. Click on the subscribe button, and from there choose which notifications you want to receive. Then we'll send your favorite CCX Media news, sports, and city events straight to your inbox. Sign up now at ccxmedia.org.
And welcome back. Umbrellas out, not because it's going to rain, but because the sun's beating down this week, obviously. We go to the top of the second. Stefano Giovanelli stepping in here for St. Louis Park, and he takes a strike from Jackson View. He's hitting .247 this year, 15 runs scored. He's driven in 9. Quickly falls behind in the count here, though, 0-2.
Great center fielder. Saw him make a great catch. Literally one of the best catches I've seen in high school baseball, robbing a ball from over the fence at St. Louis Park earlier in the season. He's definitely a defensive asset for this St. Louis Park baseball team.
And Drew, some of our fans know, but obviously not everybody, that you're now coaching in St. Louis Park Youth Organization, but a Hopkins High School grad, so you kind of got all bases covered here with you today.
I had to check my wardrobe as I left the house because I had a blue shirt on, like you have a blue shirt on, and I would have fit in as a Hopkins fan, but I'm a St. Louis Park resident coaching St. Louis Park Little League, and I told my oldest son Finn, who was at the pool for the 3rd straight day, that I'd say hi to him on the broadcast. And my younger son Max, he's got a good friend Robbie, who's probably running around, Brian Kelly's younger son. That it's fun to watch these kids play baseball and kind of come up through the St. Louis Park baseball program.
Giovanelli swinging a miss at a high fastball there. First strikeout for View. And Zach Helfman will be the hitter. So it's got to give Jackson View a little confidence. He had a little bit of a shaky first inning himself, but then his team comes up and puts 3 on the board immediately and stakes him to a lead. That's got to make him feel a little bit better here.
Yeah, last time I saw him pitch, it was very similar. He started off very rough and kind of like the energy was too high and throwing balls all over the place. And then the second inning, he really focused in and started throwing strikes and relied on his defense to make the plays, and that's what Hopkins did earlier on in the section.
Helfman hitting .292 this year, 12 runs batted in. He's got 4 doubles and a home run among his hits. at the knees for a strike. And Coach Mikalakis we were kind of joking, but not joking about, the heat today. And he said Jackson View does work pretty quick, and that's one thing that our guys like playing behind him for that too. I mean, he gets the sign and goes.
Yeah, he was really efficient and really quick, and throwing pitches pretty quickly once he got that ball in his glove, turned around and threw some strikes. When you're throwing strikes and you have a lead, you have that confidence and you don't really have too much worry. You'll get that sign from the catcher and say, okay, I want to throw that one, and you rock back and you fire.
Whoops, that one just a bit high, and Helfman will draw the 1-out walk here for Park, and again, see if they maybe are going to be thinking of a courtesy runner for the catcher today. It seems the humane thing to do when they're already squatting and wearing all that gear on this kind of a day. And Max Wyatt indeed will be the courtesy runner for Helfman.
Yeah, Jay, on that last pitch, just as we were saying, it seems like Jackson View was in his windup before we even realized that he had the ball. The umpire was almost not even ready to be set. I think his catcher's saying, hey, hold on, let's step out so my pitcher knows not to throw the ball.
Here's Odens, who started the game at second base, but already had to come on as a relief pitcher in the bottom of the first. He's hitting .269, 10 runs scored, 13 driven in. He's also walked 8 times. Thanks to Orioles assistant Danny Bissonette for sending me their stats as well. Both teams providing lineup and stats. You gotta love it. And I'll give a little needle to some coaches that we see that don't have stats. I shouldn't say it, but if you're a varsity baseball coach that doesn't keep up-to-date stats, you're not doing a full job.
You kind of come in without knowing much about the team. You can take a word of mouth, but to see the stats is a different game. And these teams, they're so focused on analytics, and it's all putting it into a formula. But really, average on base percentage is great to know, because then you know where they're at in the order, and you can see what they're doing this season.
Coaches, both these coaches too, are talking about they know the programs know each other well, the kids know each other well, and they've got a lot of respect. And they said, they weren't afraid to say we like each other too. It isn't a heated rivalry necessarily; it's just a good rivalry.
Yeah, I mean it's the 169 battle. I mean they're right on the other side of the highway, and these homes. I have a lot of friends that open enroll to Hopkins and vice versa, open enroll to St. Louis Park. I mean, these schools are very close to each other, and a lot of people don't realize that these are neighboring cities, and these kids play a lot of sports together growing up.
So a couple of walks in a row here given by Jackson View, and now the number 9 hitter Brady Walsh, the first baseman, will step in for St. Louis Park. If the early goings are any indication, we might see some offense here today. 3 runs for the Royals and 1 for Park in that first inning, and now 2 batters on here with 1 out for St. Louis Park in the top of the second as that pitch misses outside. Walsh hasn't had a real good year with the bat. He's 2 for 25, 1 run batted in, but chance to be a hero here, or at least keep the train moving in this inning.
Yeah, I think you see the Hopkins dugout kind of scuffling a little bit there, trying to think of how can we get Jackson View out there to calm down and throw strikes like he was earlier in the game and earlier in the section tournament.
And that one gets away as it just popped out of the mitt there of Nordine. A pass ball will allow the runners to move up. It seemed to be not too far out of the strike zone, and he just didn't squeeze it. Yeah, we've talked about it in earlier games. You kind of, if you're View and you're the defense, you almost feel worse when you're walking people than if they're getting hits, really. And he's going to walk another. He walks the number 9 man, Brady Walsh. And Jason Mikalakis is going to come out for a little conference. We might see maybe both pitchers not last super long here, the way things are looking so far. I don't think they're going to lift View right here, but I don't think the leash will be super long if he continues to struggle either.
Yeah, I think it's just a reminder, hey, you have a really explosive offense. You had a good start. You got 3 runs in the first inning. You aren't throwing strikes. Just throw strikes. You have a great defense. We're this far into the season. We worked on things earlier in the season to get to this point. Let's trust ourselves, throw strikes, calm down, and focus in on just throwing strikes. Don't worry about trying to strike kids out and be fancy and hit corners. Just throw strikes until you get in trouble. That's when you start to think about, okay, now I need to actually hit corners. But St. Louis Park hasn't really shown that they can drive the ball out of the park or make any really big plays at the plate. So throw strikes. But with the bases loaded now, you're in a position where you don't want to groove anything right down the plate in the top of the order for St. Louis Park.
So here's Regenti stepping in for the second time already. Walked and scored their first run. Bases full, 1 out here. Top of the order now for the Orioles, and that one is over for a strike. Yeah, you kind of have the feeling, I think you hit it right on the head, that View is just a little over-eager out there, trying to throw the perfect pitch, trying to get after him so much that he's wanting to, kind of overthrow the ball a little bit.
And you can often see it in the pace of their windup. Sometimes pitchers really speed up their windup and throw too fast, and that's when they start to throw balls.
Close but missed, and it's 2-1.
That was a close one. He really wanted that one.
Regenti out in front of that one, and it's 2-2. And I was thinking, I have to admit, it crossed my mind on the previous pitch to the umpire. You do realize it's like 96, 97 degrees out here, right? It'll be a long game. Lifted the foul down the left field line. Wow, he got a lot of that one, but about 20 feet foul down that left field line.
Yeah, a little too early, but with 2 strikes, you want to protect. Again, you want to find a good pitch to hit, but anything close, you got to protect and put it in play.
Hopkins playing back all around the infield here, as you'd expect. They could come home on a ball hit at the corners. And that one is low. Nordin with a good block, but the count will run full, so nowhere to put him here. If he walks another one, it'll mean a run.
Yeah, nice block by the catcher. That's one of the things I'm trying to teach my older son, Finn, is, he's like, hey, I can catch the ball. Now what do I do as a catcher? And it's like, that's a really good skill to be able to pick up, is how to move your feet and block that ball.
And there's ball 4, and that will force in a run as Regenti, a bases loaded walk. And so action already for Hopkins heading down toward the bullpen. His View has just struggled to find it here. He's walked 4 batters in a row now. And Ben Farley will be the hitter for St. Louis Park. Farley driving this one to right field, and that'll be in and might clear the bases. Farley digging for second, and he will head for third. Throw coming there, and it gets away, and he's going to get up and score. Farley will get a triple and then score on the throwing error as he clears the bases, and the Orioles surge back into the lead.
I was just going to say, that's a huge at-bat for Hopkins to try and get that out, because Hopkins with a big pop in his bat coming up after him, but drives that ball down the right field line, easily down for a hit. And then the runners just go, because they saw he had no chance to get that ball, so they're on the go. And he slides into third base. I think the ball hits him, and that's why Perry is able to come up with it cleanly. You see the second baseman there kind of double clutches the throw. He was going to go home, but realized he didn't have a chance and threw to third and didn't have much weight behind that throw and wasn't able to get the runner in time.
So here comes Hokinson stepping in. Base is now empty, but probably their most dangerous hitter. And 6-3 lead here for Park. Hokinson flied to left his first time up. He's hitting .354, 7 doubles, a home run. He's also walked 18 times. Didn't mean to swing on that one, but it's going to be a tough chance. Throw to first base just in time to get him for out number 2.
Shift paid off pretty well for Hopkins there. Perry's playing way over towards the shortstop. You see the shift is on. If the shortstop's going to get that ball, that's going to be a really tough play. But Perry positioned very well there to get the grounder to the left side of the infield and just gets Hokinson.
So Drew Boyum will be the hitter. And Coach Kelly coming down to talk, and this gets back to what we talked about earlier. View is starting into his windup before people are ready, and there was a late time call to ask for Boyum, but they're trying to discuss that.
Yeah, and Boyum as a pitcher also knows, what to do with the umpire to let him know to get time in the box, and knows that the pitcher's rattled.
Boyum hits this one pretty well out to right field. But drifting back and able to make the play is Scarlatti. But what an inning for St. Louis Park as they come up with 5 runs in the frame. It is now 6-3 Orioles as we go to the bottom of the second.
talk to you about physics. Come on in, girls. Let's go. This is the first rocket to get humans to Mars. Really tall. I'm a rocket structural engineer, designing and building parts of the rocket. You are the generation that will be stepping foot on Mars. Do I have a group of astronauts on my hands? Yes. You can become a rocket scientist or whatever else you want to be.
Hey world, I have a quick message. It's about safe driving. All right, let's go. Anytime you're driving, have the seatbelt buckled tight. Both hands on the wheel and your phone out of sight. When not in your hand, trying to text somebody back. Because if you do, your car might get smacked. The moral of the story, just put your phone down. The people on the road will stay safe and sound. Put your phone down, put your phone down. People on the road will stay safe and sound. Yeah.
Well, an interesting start to this one. St. Louis Park only has 2 hits, but they have 6 runs after 4 straight walks and then a bases-loaded triple last inning helped them to a 5-run inning. So here comes Hopkins in the bottom of the second. The 9, 1, and 2 spots coming up. Paul Safransky, the center fielder, will lead things off here for the Royals against the second pitcher already for St. Louis Park, Henry Odens, who came in and got the last 2 outs of the first inning after his teammate Ethan Schmitz had a rocky beginning. Pounded toward third, ooh, and that one eats him up. Boy, that one might have hurt a little bit. And that'll be an error on the third baseman. And Jake Perry will step up. Not sure, it looked like it might have hit him in the chest.
I think it did catch him in the chest, and he had a little bit of top spin, and that's the tough thing about this turf is, you know, St. Louis Park's home field, most of the fields they play on is grass, natural grass. That natural grass is going to slow that ball down. On turf, that ball actually picks up speed on that bounce, and sometimes it catches infielders off guard there.
Strike taken by Perry. He singled to start the bottom of the first and came around to score as they went single, double, sack, fly to begin the game. And you're kind of at that point thinking like Hopkins is sort of taking control, but guess again, St. Louis Park answering right back with 5 here in the top of the second.
As I was saying in that break, Jay, this Hopkins lineup, the top half of this lineup is potent. They're explosive, and it starts with Jake Perry here, and if he gets a fastball, it's always you want to keep your eyes open when he gets a fastball.
To second, nice play. They will get an out. Runner does advance, but nice job by Schmitz to get over there and make that play. So Perry is out 4-3 with Safransky moving down to second.
Yeah, nice fielding play by the second baseman, moving to his left, our right, and scoops that ball up. Knows he has no chance to get that runner at second base, and kind of hustles over and gets the throw to first to get that first out of the inning. Take what you can get.
Mauser stepping in. He had a single and scored his first time up. And in a way, it almost makes it easier when you realize right away there's no chance to get the lead runner, so then you can kind of focus in a little bit on just making the play to first. Ooh, lifted out to left field and hit well. This one is gone. Home run for Jack Mauser.
I don't think I've seen a home run trot that smooth and that quick off the bat for a while. He knew he got that. He's had a great section tournament. Earlier in the tournament, he had I think a 4-for-4 night with a couple doubles, a home run. That ball he squared up and sent down the left field line and got it up high enough in the air that it was easily out of this park.
His 4th home run of this season. And so Hopkins, you think, like, are they going to be discouraged? Are they going to feel down after giving up that 5 spot? And they immediately answer with a couple of their own. And it's 6-5 as he really got this one, and he knew it right away.
I haven't seen a walk like that in high school for a while. That was a well-hit ball, and he knew it right away.
Ryan McGee will be the hitter, and he's capable of doing the same. The Royals, the only question for me was there a chance it would go foul?
Yeah.
But obviously it stayed easily fair there. Breaking ball way short of the plate. McGee smoked a double. His first time up to drive in a run. So if you were looking for a pitcher's duel today, keep looking. And this isn't that. 6-5 already in the bottom of the second. McGee fouling that one back. Hits this one hard. Oh, and a great diving play by Schmitz. Out number 2 recorded. I thought the first play Schmitz made this inning was pretty impressive. That one maybe even a little more so. He had to lay out for that one, and he got it.
Yeah, nice solid contact. Good swing there to the right side of the infield, but quick reactions by the second baseman. Hangs onto the ball, kind of rattles around, and hangs on and gets that second out.
Yeah, it's kind of a two-part thing there. You get it in your glove, but you also have to make sure that when your body comes down, it doesn't pop it loose.
Yep.
So Brock Zimmer, the hitter, he had a sacrifice fly down the right field line his first time up. If you're McGee, you're disappointed you didn't wind up with a hit, but you do feel good about the way you hit that ball. Here's a little number, and Odens will come up with this one and throw him out at first base. So the Royals done in the second. They do answer on the 2-run homer by Mauser. 2 runs, 1 hit, 1 error by Park, and no one left aboard. It is 6-5 through 2 innings of play here on CCX.
If you love them enough to suck the snot out of their nose at 4 a.m., then surely you'll check NHTSA.gov/the right seat to make sure they're in the right car seat.
Oh, sweetie. Okay, you know what? Let's take off his sweatshirt. Get rid of pictures of him. You don't have to look at him. Goodbye, Dave.
Mom, you don't understand. He's tagged in like 400 of my posts.
I can cut out tags.
No, that's not how it works.
What is a tag?
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care would love to share their first with you.
It's a wild one on a hot afternoon, and that young man pounded a home run last inning to pull Hopkins within 2. Mauser a 2-run blast down the left field line. So a 6-5 St. Louis Park lead as they hit here in the top of the third. Schmitz, Giovanelli, and Helfman the batters. Schmitz, now the second baseman. It's funny, he had a tough start as a pitcher, but then last inning he had 2 good plays defensively at second. Here's a liner to center, and it'll hang up long enough though for Safransky to make the catch. Schmitz probably wishing he had hit that one a little softer and might have had a single instead of a line out there, but 1 gone, and now Giovanelli will be the batter. He struck out his first time up.
Yeah, good solid contact, just unfortunately right at the center fielder. Made a couple steps in to get that first out for Hopkins.
Starts him with a breaking ball over for a strike. Jackson View hasn't been pretty the first couple innings, let's be honest here. He's had a lot of trouble with control. And then that triple that cleared the bases didn't help matters, but yeah, his team's down by 1. And we were talking between innings, Drew, that when Hopkins, you know, they kind of have in the back of their mind that there could be a game 2, so you probably want to save McGee for that. Down to short, it's juggled, and not going to be a play made. E6 as Primusberger unable to come up with that one. I think he still would have been okay if he'd been able to immediately grab it even after he dropped it, but it just took a little too long.
Yeah, that ball stayed down on the ground. Pretty routine ground ball. I'm surprised he didn't come up with it, but hustles over there to get the throw to first, just not in time. And going back to Jackson View, I think, you know, if you're the Hopkins coaching staff, you just say, hey, go out there, throw strikes. You've seen your team has been able to hit the ball, put runs on the board, get us through 3, 4, 5, 6 innings and see where we go from there.
Helfman walked his first time up. That one is over at the knees for a strike. That started a string of 4 straight walks that View gave up, and then that was followed by Farley's bases loaded triple, which kind of blew that one open a little bit. Outside with that one. 2 balls and a strike here to the Orioles catcher.
I was asking Brian Kelly if he could give me the steal sign so I could kind of call it out and look smart on TV, but he said he wouldn't do that. So I can't tell you if the runners are going ahead of time, unfortunately.
Lifted to right. Sun is an issue out there, but good job of shielding his eyes there for Scarlatti, and he's able to make the catch for out number 2. And now the pitcher Odens will bat for St. Louis Park. And I said earlier, they've got some stolen base totals racked up. They're a team that can run a little bit. I will say this though, when you get in a section tournament like this against another good team, it isn't as automatic that you can run. You might have some teams in your conference that you kind of, and I'm not saying that they're not good base stealers and all that, but just it becomes a little bit tougher to pull off the farther level you get.
You're late in the season here, you're deep in the playoffs. There's not really weak spots on many of these teams that are playing this late in the season, and I think that's why you don't see as many stolen bases. But earlier in the season, in an April-May game, you have teams that might be starting their second, third string catcher, and you want to set your runners free and get them stolen bases when you can, because you want to get out and get those wins when you can. But later in the season, you're facing teams that really don't have weak spots.
Ooh, Nordin had a sky up out of his crouch to grab that one. The other thing too today is the teams are hitting the ball so well that you almost think, why risk getting thrown out stealing? You don't need to. The guys are going to probably hit them around a little bit. That's a strike.
It's a good pitch to drive, chest high, laid off it. Now with 2 strikes, you want to protect as much as you can. Don't let that third strike go by without swinging.
Down to second. Mikalakis was positioned well. His throw is a little offline. Oh, and just able to hang on to the bag there was Zimmer. And they will get the out. So Park done in the third. No runs, no hits. There was 1 error and 1 left aboard. We go to the bottom of the third. Stays 6-5, St. Louis Park.
Today I'm going to talk to you about physics. Come on in, girls. Let's go. This is the first rocket to get humans to Mars.
Really tall.
I'm a rocket structural engineer, designing and building parts of the rocket. You are the generation that will be stepping foot on Mars. Do I have a group of astronauts on my hands?
Yes.
You can become a rocket scientist or whatever else you want to be.
Hey world, I have a quick message. It's about safe driving. All right, let's go. Anytime you're driving, have the seatbelt buckle tight. Both hands on the wheel and your phone out of sight. When not in your hand, trying to text somebody back. Because if you do, your car might get smacked. The moral of the story, just put your phone down. The people on the road will stay safe and sound. Put your phone down, put your phone down. People on the road will stay safe and sound. Yeah.
Welcome back. We saw Brian Kelly there, the St. Louis Park coach. He said, yeah, we just got to come out and be aggressive. We're kind of the underdog, and we don't think about trying to win 2 games today. We got to go out and, you get one and then go from there. It's got to be the mentality in this situation. Maddox, Mikalakis, Jack Primusberger, Luke Nordin, the 5, 6, 7 hitters will come up in the third for Hopkins. They trail at 6-5, but I have to believe that they still feel pretty good that they're going to put some more runs on the board. I mean, they've hit the ball very well in this first couple innings. They've 2-run homer last inning. McGee smoked a double in that first, and so both teams have had a lot of base runners, a lot of hard hit balls, way too many walks if you're Hopkins giving up defensively. Mikalakis walked his first time through here for the Royals. And he gets a hold of this one out to right center field, and that one is going to leave the yard. Home run. Maddox Mikalakis leads off the third with a solo shot to tie the game at 6.
Well hit ball to right center field, just over the fence, but crushed that ball. That ball was dead over the plate, not too much speed behind it, and he teed it up and tied this game up pretty quickly. And Hopkins has been hitting the ball, and going back to that box score that you saw coming back from the break, St. Louis Park has been efficient, you know, scoring 6 runs on only a couple hits, taking advantage of the walks, but Hopkins has really been hitting the ball.
Third homer of the season for Mikalakis, and this one through a little bit deeper part of the park too than Mauser hit his, so it was not quite as much of a no-doubter. And we are going to see another pitching change here for St. Louis Park, as Oden's kind of came in and settled things down a little bit when he first came in, but he's given up a couple of pretty long home runs, so another pitching change coming for Coach Kelly. We will step aside here in the bottom of the third, rather. We are tied up 6 runs apiece here in the Section 6 4A final on CCX.
Emotes say a lot, but they can't say it all. Think your guildmate is struggling? Try these dialogue options. Go beyond emotes. Check in with your guildmates at seizetheawkward.org.
Last week, Brandon met a girl on a dating app. One day after work, he finally found the courage to ask her out. No answer. He started to panic. Was he being too pushy? Maybe it was too...
Hey, sorry I didn't respond. I was driving. I would love to go on a date. How does tonight sound?
Brandon tried to play it cool, but inside he knew. A girl so smart, so responsible. She must be a keeper.
And welcome back. St. Louis Park will bring its third pitcher of the game in, the left-handed sophomore, Stefano Giovanelli, who is 3-1 this year at 3.32 earned run average. In 19 innings, has given 19 hits, walked 7, fanned 17. So they're kind of playing this all out, and Coach Kelly said that before the game. You know, we're not going to have a real long leash if we see things not going our way. He said everybody that's pitched this year, we want to be ready. They might be needed today.
Yeah, you said it early in the pregame, all hands on deck for St. Louis Park, and that was specifically to pitching. And, you know, when you're coming up through the loser's bracket and you don't have your number 1, your number 2's throwing some pitches too, you got to find out that 3 through 10 basically for St. Louis Park today, and we're going to see if they can pull it off. And, you know, if there's a game 2, it'll be interesting to see what they put out there on the mound.
Primusberger takes a strike. He had a little comebacker his first time up, so 0 for 1 here today. Slow breaking ball missed. And that one is up high. This one hit hard, and that one will be through for a hit. Primusberger aboard here with nobody out. Thought there was possibly a chance that Farley was going to get there, but I think it would have been unlikely to get an out even if he had made that backhand play.
Yeah, anytime you're moving to deeper into the hole at shortstop, that's going to be a tough play, and it just scoots under his glove, so he has no chance. But even if he does come up with it, it would have been a really tough play.
Yeah, no doubt, base hit there. So Nordin will be the batter. Nordin walked his first time up. Flip to first here. Nice breaking ball there is over for a strike.
Last time I saw this Hopkins team, it was breaking balls really kept them off balance. You know, they weren't able to time it out very well. But when they get fastballs, they seem to hit the ball really well.
Another breaking ball there, and that is another strike from Giovanelli here. Yeah, if nothing else, it kind of disrupts your timing. We come back, fastball there, and a called third strike. Nordin didn't like it, but he is out. First out of the third inning, and Sculati will be the batter.
Yeah, nice nice pitch sequence there for St. Louis Park, Giovanelli there to get that first out. And like you said, Jay, it really throws off your timing. Then when you can come back and throw an inside fastball, it really kind of messes up their timing. They're not expecting it.
Scolati flied to left his first time up, hit the ball pretty deep. That one just missed for ball one. Time granted there. Runner is going. Here's the throw down. Not going to be nearly in time, as Primusberger easily swiping second there. Helfman didn't get a lot on that. It didn't look like his footwork was the greatest as he came up out of his crouch here, and just had to make sure they knocked that ball down and kept it in the infield. Three balls, no strikes now to Scolati, with Safransky on deck here for Hopkins as they try and take the lead back. Over for a strike there. Popping this one up, and it's going to drop in. Primusberger will hold at third, as obviously he thought there was a pretty good chance that ball was going to be caught, but fighting the sun there, Walsh just could not come up with it. And it'll be somewhat of a gift single there for Scolati. It kind of looked like he had it measured, but then he must have just lost sight of it.
Yeah, they kind of carried on him, and I think the right fielder was playing pretty deep there, and usually you'd see the right fielder call out the first baseman there if they have a chance, but that wasn't the scenario there, and unfortunately it just kind of drops in at the last second.
So Safransky will be the batter here. Runners at the corners and one out for Hopkins. Boy, Hopkins benefiting there, as the Orioles really could have used that out. Foul ball out of play. Safransky reached on an error his first time up. That ball that kind of handcuffed the third baseman, Boyum, in the second inning. Cut and a miss at that curveball.
Yeah, if you're Park here, of course you're looking for a double play, which is easy to say, hard to execute on. But you want to make sure you get that first out. With Perry in the top of the order for Hopkins looming, you want to make sure you get at least one out and then try and get that second out if you can, if there's a ground ball in the infield.
Comes back, breaking ball, but it missed.
We're seeing Giovanelli throw a bunch of breaking balls, and I've seen the Hopkins coaches remind their runners, like, hey, anything in the dirt or in the turf, you got to get a good secondary lead so you can advance a base if the opportunity is there.
Fought that one off.
No clouds in sight for a while, Wilcox. We're going to be pretty hot here.
Yeah, and you wonder, I don't know if that's advantage for hitters, but it sure seems like it today by the way the game has started out. I can't really say that the pitchers are struggling because of the heat necessarily, but it certainly has been tilted toward offense here in this first few innings. Runner from first is going, and that one fouled back.
Yeah, this is what I imagine the College World Series out in Omaha to be like. 100 degrees, sweltering heat, nowhere to hide. Good baseball, though. 12 runs through over 2.5 innings, and still a lot of baseball to be played, and these two good teams. And whoever wins the last game today will get a chance to play in the state tournament.
Breaking ball there, and it missed. 3-2. He's had a couple to this hitter that have been kind of the same, where it ends up in the glove, you think and strike, but it kind of curved around the plate. Runner from first going again. Pop foul and out of play again here by Safransky. Top of the order coming up next, and they've been dangerous so far as they've done well. Perry, Mauser, and McGee already with 4 hits between them. And flip to first, and it gets away, and that'll score the go-ahead run. Primusberger in. Scarlatti will hang on at second, so Park trying to see if they couldn't maybe catch that runner by surprise or at least keep him close. Instead, it ends up as an error and scores the run.
Yeah,
7-6.
Not a really good clean throw to the first baseman there. Kind of took a little off it, but threw it down in the turf and got away from the first baseman and allowed that run come in.
Runner is going here. The throw to third is going to be in time. It was a strikeout as well, so a strikeout throw-out double play ends the inning. But Hopkins does take the lead. A solo homer to lead it off, and then a run on an error. Couple runs in the inning on 3 base hits, 1 error, and no one left on base. After 3 innings, 7-6 Royals.
If you love them enough to suck the snot out of their nose at 4 a.m., then surely you'll check nhtsa.gov/the right seat to make sure they're in the right car seat.
Oh, sweetie. Okay, you know what? Let's take off his sweatshirt. Get rid of pictures of him. You don't have to look at him. Goodbye, Dave.
Mom, you don't understand. He's tagged in like 400 of my posts.
I can cut out tags.
No, that's not how it works.
What is a tag?
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care would love to share their first with you.
Welcome back here, St. Louis Park, getting set to hit here in the top of the 4th. Well, wild one so far. Hopkins leading 7-6 after 3. Brady Walsh, Stanley Regenti, and Ben Farley, the 9-1-2 hitters coming up for Park. Chopper here gets over the mound. Tough play, and it is made. Ooh, that's a beauty for the Royals. As cutting across, no margin for error there for Primusberger, and he's able to get the out. Kind of made up for it. He had an error last inning, and that one was a nice one. I thought if the pitcher doesn't get it, they're probably not going to get an out here, but the good thing was his momentum carrying him toward first. That made that a much shorter throw than if he'd been back in his normal spot.
Yeah, nice play from the shortstop position. And again, I think this turf comes into play on that one. I think if it's natural grass, that ball, if it gets over the pitcher's head, it's not going to be fast enough that the shortstop has enough speed to get there and get it in time. But that ball doesn't really lose much speed when it hits the turf. And if anything, it actually gains speed. I think that kind of helped him there and scooped it up and made a good, nice, strong throw over to first base to get that first out.
Well, Regeni has walked both times and scored both times. So View was thinking, I got to at least throw some strikes here. 2 balls and a strike here. And we mentioned earlier that even though there's been a lot of offense, and this one drilled out to left center field, and that will bounce over for a ground rule double. And you say there's been a lot of offense, but the umpire still making pitchers throw legitimate strikes. They're not, it isn't anything close as a strike.
Yeah, good solid contact, stayed down on it and drove it to the left center gap. It wasn't high enough in the air that it had a chance to get out of the park, but hit hard enough that it bounces over the fence for a ground rule double.
And View is going to be lifted here after working the first 3 1/3 innings for Hopkins, as he had a lot of trouble with walks, and then that one smoked for a double. So a pitching change coming for the Royals here. They hold a 7-6 lead, but I have the feeling we haven't seen the last of the scoring in this one. We'll take a timeout and come back with more of our Section 6 4A final.
If you love them enough to crawl into a play place to get them to come down, then surely you'll check nhtsa.gov/the right seat to make sure they're in the right car seat.
And welcome back. Right-hander Gabe Olson coming on now for Hopkins. He has pitched in 8 games, a total of 20 innings, 1-1 record, 1 save, and a 2.45 earned run average. So he's allowed exactly 1 hit per inning, 20 hits in 20 innings with 9 walks, 25 strikeouts. Ben Farley, the hitter here for St. Louis Park, and last time up, he hit a triple to clear the bases, 3-run triple, and then scored himself on a throwing error when they tried to get him at third. Lifted out to short right field, and Mikalakis, the second baseman, back to make the catch for out number 2. Now those were the kind that hit that Farley had, Drew, that when you're in Little League, everybody would say he hit a grand slam. But being a little more technical, it was a triple and error. But
I talked to my older son, Finn, and he's like, oh, so-and-so hit a home run today. I'm like, really? No. He's like, yeah, I ran all around the bases. I'm like, no, how many throws were there? Oh, 3. He's like, oh, that's not a real home run. But yeah, that was a clutch hit by Farley earlier in the game. And not a lot of hits for St. Louis Park, but they've been taking advantage of those walks and had that clutch hit to, bring in a few runs. 4 runs is a huge swing in this game. And I don't think, like you said, we're done seeing runs scored.
Foul ball here. So Olson would love to strand that runner and keep the lead for his team. Got a really good hitter up here in Hopkinson, and Regenti at second with 2 gone. Breaking ball is over for a strike. Hawkinson's 0 for 2.
This is one of those hitters that I always tell my younger son to watch. We always go to the game, and St. Louis Park games were right down the street, and somehow there's some hitters that have extra pop in their bat somehow, and it's just it comes from their midsection and their swings and their fundamentals, and he usually has it.
High chopper, and that one is going to get through for a hit, and it will score the tying run. As Hawkinson didn't kill it, but he found a hole, and he'll drive in run number 7 for Park.
Good piece of hitting there. Hit it to the left side of the infield. The shift was on like usual for him, and that ball is usually a routine ground ball to the shortstop, but they're playing him way over to the right side of the infield and sneaks through that gap on the shift and brings in the tying run.
So Drew Boyum will be the batter here. He hit a double his first time up and then flied to right. Pounding this one to short. Going to flip to second, get the lead out there. So the Orioles are done in the 4th. However, they do tie it up again. 1 run on a couple of base hits, and they will leave 1. We go to the bottom of the 4th. It's 7-all here. Hopkins in St. Louis Park.
Emotes say a lot, but they can't say it all. Think your guildmate is struggling? Try these dialogue options. Go beyond emotes. Check in with your guildmates at seizetheawkward.org.
Last week, Brandon met a girl on a dating app. One day after work, he finally found the courage to ask her out. No answer. He started to panic. Was he being too pushy? Maybe it was too...
Hey, sorry I didn't respond. I was driving. I would love to go on a date. How does tonight sound?
Brandon tried to play it cool, but inside he knew. A girl so smart, so responsible. She must be a keeper.
And we go to the bottom of the fourth. It'll be the top of the order for Hopkins. Jake Perry leading it off here against the left-hander Giovanelli, third pitcher of the game for Park. First pitch missing for a ball. Perry is 1 for 2, singled and scored in the first and then grounded to second. Little tapper foul here. Giovanelli's certainly given them a different look, at least. One by being lefty and two with that kind of slow curveball. But none of the pitchers who've worked today have, well, it's too early to say on Gabe Olson, but I think you'd say all the rest have kind of struggled.
Yeah, going back to that, Hopkins last half of the inning, that was a key pitching change because the third time through the order, the same pitcher, it's usually you're able to square up the pitches pretty easily, or more frequently, not pretty easily, but you know, once you see a pitcher 2-3 times in a game, you kind of adjust and adapt, and that pitching change paid off for Hopkins, and we've seen it kind of pay off for St. Louis Park and slow down this Hopkins offense a little bit, but here's the top half of the order that, you know, usually does their damage and sets the table for him.
Full count here as he buzzed Perry high and tight there. Smoked past first. That's a fair ball down the line. Perry will take a turn but hang on. It was a pretty good job to get over and cut that one off by Hopkinson. So Perry delivering a leadoff single here. Got the count to 3-2 and tried to throw that curveball past him, and Perry was ready. And Jack Mauser will come up here for Hopkins, and he's had himself a day here so far. A single the first time up, and then went deep down the left field line for a 2-run shot in the second. Curveball missed. Here's another look at the last time up for Mauser, and he knew it. Little bat drop there.
Yeah, a little Fernando Tatis, and that's when right when he hit it, that he could put the bat down and take his time, no hurry.
And he do it again? No, this one's going to be foul. And not probably quite long enough anyway, but boy, off the bat, I was like, whew, he might have done it back to back.
Yeah, it was hit hard enough, just pulled it fouled and not high enough to get out over the fence, but hit it very well again, and I just got to wait and try and drive it to the right center gap and put a little power that way.
Fouls it the other way this time. You got to give some credit to these hitters too, though. You know, even if you're facing a pitcher who maybe isn't that overpowering or hasn't pitched that much this year or whatever, it's still not easy to put balls in play fair and hard and down for hits and home runs and stuff. I mean, and that one will be back up the middle for a hit as he drove it past the pitcher Giovanelli's glove. And back-to-back singles here to begin the fourth.
Yeah, I mean, this Hopkins lineup can hit fastballs really well, and if they're able to, you know, make contact with curveballs and put them in play, they're going to have a good day at the plate, and that's what we've seen so far. And you know, Hopkins in a position here to really jump back out into that lead.
Giovanelli thinking, I wish that would have hit my glove instead, but he also is thinking, I'm glad it didn't hit me. Here's McGee going to drop down a bunt. He looked to third, instead will go to first and get the out. Interesting, earlier in the game you were talking about, you know, sacrifice possibility, but didn't do it, and this time they do. I'm a little surprised, I'll admit, with as much offense as there been, but you take the double play out of thing and you get, you know, the go-ahead runs into scoring position with Brock Zimmer coming up. Zimmer had a sac fly his first time up and then tap back to the pitcher, so 0 for 1 officially.
Yeah, very interesting strategy there. You'd think with your three-hitter and a lot of power at the plate that you let him swing away, but maybe you want to do anything you can to get back into that lead.
Swinging on 2-0 and fouls that one back.
Yeah, I think another part of that strategy is to know that, if you get him over to second and third with one out, a hit here should bring in 2 to put you up 9-7, which, is a great situation to be in.
And here's a liner in the center field for a hit. 1 run in. They're going to have to hold that second runner. But Zimmer delivers with an RBI single to put Hopkins back in front now at 8-7. Perry is in. Mauser held at third. Just had to hold up just a little bit to make sure that ball wasn't going to be caught. And I think the smart play to put the brakes on there, as it was just a one-hopper fielded in center there.
Yeah, you don't want to run yourself out of a big inning opportunity here, which Hopkins has. And that ball was hit pretty hard, just not too high. And a runner at second base, that ball goes over your head. You're not going to track it. You're looking at your third base coach and made the safe call there.
Mikalakis, who homered last time up, fouls the first pitch away. Another look at his homer leading off the third inning as he took it yard to right center field. Didn't clear the fence by much, but didn't need to. That was after walking his first time up. And here's a looper out to center field. This should score the run easily here, and will. Gets a sacrifice fly. Zimmer has to hold at first base, but Mauser easily jogs in with the 9th run of the game for the Royals. So Mikalakis getting the job done.
And Jay, that's why I would never question a coach's decision to sacrifice bunt with your third hitter, runners on first and second, nobody out, because that's exactly what he had in mind right there. They got those 2 runs in, and now they're where they envisioned they would be.
Primusberger, the batter here for Hopkins, and he will drill a base hit out to right center field. That one over toward the gap. Juggled a little bit there. They're going to send the runner as the throw comes into second, and it will score the run. Zimmer, a bit of a calculated risk there for the Royals, as they anticipated Park not being ready for him going, and he does score on the play.
Yeah, that ball hit into the gap, and not the hardest hit ball, but right in the middle of the gap between the right fielder and center fielder. Tough play for the right fielder to get in, and the runner's moving on the swing there, and he sees the ball, he picks it up, and his third base coach was kind of giving him the little go, and you see the stumble there on the turf. But he comes in and scores that 10th run.
Yeah, I think it was more a matter of them catching the Orioles off guard a little bit there than anything, because even that stumble wouldn't have been enough to score him on its own, but they just weren't ready for that ball to need to be thrown home.
Yeah, it was a very small, it was like an underarm wave of going home. He didn't do the big arm wave that usually you see third base coaches do, and it ended up being the difference there.
Nordin, a walk, and then last time took a called third strike. So on that last play, a double, no error on the play. Runner is going here as it's pop foul.
An interesting count to run on there, but 0-2, if he throws a curveball in the dirt, they'd have to make the throw to first. Maybe you can't try and steal a run there as the runner's moving from second to third, and if the catcher has to scoop up a curveball on a strike 3 to throw it down to the first and they don't get the out, then you score a run with that runner moving from second to third and scoring on the throw.
Back up the middle, and that one will get through for a hit, and we'll score another run here for the Royals as Nordin coming through with a base hit. And it's now 11-7 Hopkins. Primusberger with 2 outs, taken off immediately and scores easily. And we're going to see a courtesy runner, Harris, again running for Nordin as Scarlatti will hit.
Good piece of hitting there, an 0-2 count. Not a big swing, but a good enough swing to put it right up the middle and drive that run in.
Runner is going, throw down to second. Not going to be in time, it was juggled. And a stolen base for Harris. Hopkins really trying to go all out here and just keep the pedal to the metal, I think, and get St. Louis Park feeling down a little bit and maybe distracted and get after him. Scarlatti to second. Ooh, nice pick there on the slide and the throw to first base in time. Nicely handled, but a big inning for Hopkins as they go back in front with a 4-run fourth inning. It's 11-7 Royals here in the Section 6 final.
CCX Media, your source for great local programming, is now available on Roku and Apple TV. Our free app allows you to stream all 3 of our channels live. You'll also have access to a large on-demand library, including daily newscasts and full sporting events. To find the app, go to the store and search CCX and download our free app. Then sit back and enjoy all of your favorite local content. Now available on Roku and Apple TV.
And welcome back here to Hopkins. A scorching afternoon here and runs galore. It's 11-7 Hopkins. We go to the top of the 5th. And Ethan Schmitz will lead it off here for St. Louis Park against Gabe Olson. Came on relief in the 4th inning for the Royals. It's not been the most fun day to be a pitcher today. Let's be honest here. Pretty much all of them. We said Olson hasn't had enough time to say, but pretty much all of them have had their difficulties, whether it be walks or hard hits or a combination of both.
Yeah, the offense has definitely showed up today for both teams. And you've said it in the past 2-3 innings, I don't think we're done seeing runs being scored here.
And based on that, we might see some in this inning. Schmidt smoking a single to lead off the 5th here for Park. And Giovanelli will be the batter now. We've only had one inning, or one half inning, that was scoreless. That was the 3rd inning for St. Louis Park. They had 1 in the 1st, 5 in the 2nd, then 0. There's a liner to 3rd, and that'll turn into a double play. So Gio Vanelli was all over that one, but it turns into a 5-3 double play, hit right at Perry. Couldn't hit it any better, but those are the breaks.
Yeah, that's one where you just tip your cap to the third baseman and say, hey, nice play, Perry. Don't make that next time, because when I hit the ball that hard, I want to get on base. But nice routine throw over to first base to double him up.
Helfman, the hitter. I was talking about everybody scoring in these innings, and Park had 1 run in the 4th. And Hopkins, meanwhile, scored at least a couple in every inning. Foul in on the hands there. Helfman had a walk and then a fly to right. And this one lifted down, foul down the right field side. A lot of room to run over there, but nobody able to get to it as they all converged.
Yeah, big field, a lot of space in foul territory. It's kind of like the Oakland Coliseum, but this is more of a multi-purpose field where they probably play lacrosse and some soccer and whatever other sport you can fit on these artificial turf fields. But that's kind of what creates that extra space in the foul territory.
To 3rd, Perry up with it. Strong throw across in time. So the previous ball was scorched at him. This one was a little dribbler, but he makes both plays. No runs, no hits, 1 hit, and no one left for Park in the 5th. We go to the bottom of 5. It's 11-7 Hopkins.
If you love them enough to suck the snot out of their nose at 4 a.m., then surely you'll check NHTSA.gov/the right seat to make sure they're in the right car seat.
Okay, you know what? Let's take off his sweatshirt. Get rid of pictures of him. You don't have to look at him. Goodbye, Dave.
Mom, you don't understand. He's tagged in like 400 of my posts.
I can cut out tags.
No, that's not how it works.
What is a tag?
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care would love to share their first with you.
Welcome back here. Nice crowd on hand, even on this hot of a day. I'd have to admit, now, if it wasn't my son or grandson or nephew playing, I'd be kind of on the bubble whether I'd be out here on the day this hot, but hopefully the fans here are enjoying this one, and we certainly are. Like I said, maybe not the pitchers so much, but the hitters are certainly having fun out here.
I'm not going to complain. Last time you and I have had some baseball dates, it's been cold. You've always talked about bringing your blanket, and we've talked about CCX providing heated blankets and heated chairs. And you know, I was out here on Saturday, I think, the last time these two met up in this tournament, and it was hotter than this, but it's fun to get out here and watch good baseball, you know, late in the playoffs, and watch these teams that have battled through early spring cold weather and, you know, graduation, fun time of the season for these seniors, and, you know, they're playing for their pride. For Park, it's Park pride. For Royals, it's for Hopkins, it's Royal pride, and it's fun to see them play in this. You know, it could be storming, it could be hailing, it could be tornadoes out there. You got to appreciate the good weather, so it's nice to be out here.
Another new pitcher, as you see, Drew Boyum has moved over to the mound for St. Louis Park. Boyum has thrown the most innings for the Orioles this year. Fouls that one away. 4-3 record, 3.97 ERA. He's worked 49 in the third, allowing 55 hits with 15 walks and 34 Ks. But they're kind of feeling like it's, you know, do or die here. Obviously, if they don't win this game, their season's over. So they got to risk using him up here and then figure things out if they can get to a game two. So Fransky reached on an error and then was called out on strikes last time up.
Yeah, boy, I'm not overpowering stuff, but he tends to throw strikes. He's been their workhorse. Most of the games that I've seen Park play, he's pitched, either started or coming in relief. And, you know, this team really rides the coattails of him and Hopkinson, and see if he can shut down the Royals' offense here and keep him in this game.
Breaking ball hanging up a little bit high here. And if you're Hopkins, you got to think, like, again, being greedy. We need to keep scoring here because we know that Park can score. Obviously, they've proven that.
Well, and you're at that point in the game where 6 runs seems like a lot, but it's really not the way these two teams have been scoring. If they can put up 6 runs, they get out of this game and advance to the state tournament.
And there's a called third strike, second time in a row. So Fransky's been caught looking by 2 different pitchers. And Jake Perry will step up here now for the Royals.
This will be a key point in the game where if St. Louis Park's able to get through this inning and keep this top of the order off the base paths, you know, they'll still have a chance. But if Hopkins puts a couple runners on here this inning, they might easily be able to break this one open.
Yeah, the first 2 hitters combined are 5 for 6 today. So that kind of shows you where that offense getting started in these innings for the Royals. Perry is 2 for 3. And Mauser's been even better, 3 for 3 with a homer, the next batter.
Mauser's got to be approaching 500 on the season, I would think.
Breaking ball over for a strike. Fastball way up and out of the zone there.
Which, you know, we get this, like you said earlier in the game broadcast, it's great to have these stats from these coaches, and as long as they're able to track it and distribute their stats, it's very helpful for us. But, I mean, you just look at some of these numbers for Hopkins. I mean, Mauser's coming into the game, 457. He's 2 for 2 tonight. Home runs, you know, in 6, 7 different spots in the lineup. This is a really potent offense.
Again, a lot of room and foul ground, and it is overrun over there by Schmitz, who's now playing at third. As looking up into that sun, and I think he was kind of looking You might have been fooled by the shadows from the football grandstand a little bit too, or the dugout. You know, all of a sudden you're running into shaded area there.
Yeah, you don't really have a warning track. Color you do, but you know, feel you don't. And Park's field is a little narrower and not as much foul ground.
Blooper to left, and that one is going to drop in. And Perry now 3 for 4. Hit that ball very high in the air, but just in a perfect spot where either the third baseman or left fielder could get there, and it will be a base hit. As they say, it looks like a line drive in the box score there, as he will be aboard.
Yeah, he hits this flare to left field, and St. Louis Park respects his power. They played earlier in the season. They played a couple times, so they know what he's capable. So you want to play deep and play in the alleys, and that one just kind of flies over the third baseman's head. Routine positioning probably would have been a fly out, but he's earned that extra space in the outfield.
Mauser, a little overeager there. He chased one way short of the plate. Mauser 3 for 3. As you said, that home run in the second, 2-run shot. And got on top of that one, but drives it way foul on the left field line. Boyum just trying to kind of hold things where they're at and give his offense a chance. They've got a couple more innings to try and catch up. And time requested as Boyum was taking a little bit longer in the stretch there, and Mauser stepping out. Breaking ball missing outside.
Good eye, good pitch to lay off. If you're going to do anything with that, you want to hit it to the right side of the field, but a little bit too far off the plate to try and swing at, so good eye.
That was an impressive take, it felt like, didn't it? I mean, because that was a pitch that you could definitely see somebody being tempted to swing at, but he watched the ball solid all the way through.
Yeah, and the first time seeing his stuff, first time he's seen Boyum on the mound, not knowing what angle his curveball breaks at, and it was just a good take.
Fastball here, knocked down to short. And it's juggled, and everyone's going to be safe. Mauser will be aboard. They should have had at least one there, but just not able to handle the flip was Odens. I think the error has got to be on him, the second baseman there, not handling that one, because that one should have been. You see, it was juggled a little bit there. That probably cost them a chance to get 2, and then instead they get 0.
Yeah, you don't get an error on assume. You can never assume a double play. It'd be a fielder's choice, but the second baseman's not able to come up the ball cleanly and get that force out, so the error would probably be on him. And unfortunately for St. Louis Park, now they got the big stick at the plate for Hopkins with 2 runners on here and a chance to really break this one open. I think that's what Coach Kelly's talking to him about. Hey, you're in the heart of the order. This kid at the plate can really hit the ball. He's got a few home runs on the season. Don't groove anything to him, but also don't. He's got what, 7 home runs it looks like. So you don't want to give him anything to drive. Know where you're going with the ball. Remind them you got to get that first out. Of course, we said earlier in the game, double plays are great, but you can never assume a double play, and you want to get that first one. And that last play, they weren't able to get it.
Aaron Ani, by the way, running at second for Perry. So we've got Ani at second, Mauser at first base, 1 out, and Ryan McGee, as Drew said, the dangerous left-hand hitter. And he showed a little versatility last time up, dropping down a sacrifice bunt that actually played a nice role in a big inning for them. Fake back to second, and Ani laying out there. Of course, he can't really tell if anybody's behind him, so not going to take any chances. McGee pulling it foul toward the St. Louis Park dugout.
And especially coming in as a pinch runner, you don't want to be caught off guard. You don't want to take any chances. And maybe earlier in the season you can get away with something, but this part of the season you don't want to get caught off guard and waste an out, especially when you come in as a sub.
Laid off that one outside. McGee doubled in a run his first time up. Second time hit the ball very hard, but right at the second baseman, and then last time that sacrifice. High and in with that one. 2-1. Just pretty good at bats throughout the game here for Hopkins. Like I was saying earlier, I mean, even if you're facing a pitcher that doesn't have great stuff or isn't overpowering, it's still not easy to get hits, and they've kind of made it look easy. And let's see, did he go? Runner is going to third, and Ani is going to be out. Just as you mentioned, you don't want to make a mistake out there, and he thought that ball had gotten a little farther away or maybe catch him off guard or something, and he was relatively easy out. They appeal on the swing and say no swing. There's another look. The only question here is, do you hang on the ball? And yes, he did. Coach Kelly coming out, and he's asking, we've got 3 umpires rather than 2, and he says, I want the appeal down to first base rather than second, and they're not going to grant it as McGee checked his swing on that one. So base running mistake, I think you'd have to say for Ani there. It results in the second out. And that'll be ball 4 to McGee.
Yeah, definitely a base running mistake. You never want to make an out at third, especially with the heart of your order coming up to the plate. And for St. Louis Park, it's key to get the out. They're trying to get a strike on that check swing, but they didn't get it, and the batter ends up getting a base on balls here.
Now, I was thinking that when you first were talking about Ani, and as a pitch coming into Zimmer here, I always feel like there's a little more pressure than what people maybe think when you come in as a pinch runner, because a lot of times it's a younger kid who's not a starter, and you haven't been in the game at all. And it's not quite as easy as you maybe might think to just come out there and be a runner. This one will be dropped in for a base hit, should score a run. McGee will hold up at second as Mauser comes in to score, and Zimmer delivers again, his 3rd RBI of the game. And Hopkins just keeps on hitting.
Yeah, going back to that courtesy runner situation and scenario, it's similar to like a relief pitcher coming in with base runners on second and third. But here you see a good inside-out swing. Don't try and pull a ball. Wasn't able to square it up and drive it as hard as possible, but he turns it from the inside out and puts it out in the right center field, does the job, gets that run in.
So here's Michalakis stepping up here for Hopkins, and he smokes this one out to left center field. And that one's going to bounce off the fence. It does stay in play, though, so not a ground rule double, and the second runner will be coming. Michalakis, throw back to second. They get him, but the run will score. The second run also scores on the play, so it will be 14-7 as Michalakis will get a double to knock in a pair. They were fortunate that ball stayed in play, but then I think he maybe realized they had a chance at his teammate at home, so he went rounded and he ends up being thrown out. But 14-7 lead for Hopkins. We've completed 5 here in the Section 6 4A final here on CCX.
Stem is precise, no margin for error.
Dare to forget that. Dare to have fun with it. Get weird with it. Dare to send those old STEM theories flying past the neighbor's house into outer space. Dare to program something internet-breaking, record-breaking. Dare to blow their minds. Dare to learn the difference between sedimentary and metamorphic rock. Go find those rocks. Dare to keep daring. Dare to STEM. Check out She Can STEM to get started.
If you love them enough to relearn math so you can teach them math, then surely you'll check nhtsa.gov/the-right-seat to make sure they're correctly buckled in the back seat.
And we go to inning number 6. It is Henry Odens leading it off for St. Louis Park. They're now down by 7. He swings and misses at the first pitch. Henry a walk and then a ground out to second. Gabe Olson has come on and been pretty sharp for Hopkins as their starter, Jackson View, just didn't have it today. Too many walks, but Olson's come in and done a nice job. As I said earlier, he's really kind of been the only pitcher who's fared well. Swing and a miss, and they'll get the tag play made there, and so Odens is out on strikes.
Yeah, St. Louis Park running out of outs here, running out of opportunities, and Hopkins up 7 late in the game in a good position. And for your Park, you just want to do anything you can, one runner at a time. Get base runners out there and try and move them around. Got to do whatever you can.
Brady Walsh, the hitter, he takes the strike. Nordine doing the right thing there. If you can tag him, you do that and not risk that throw. Now, obviously, if he had missed him with that swipe, then he would have had to throw down to first, but he's able to get him. And here's a liner. It's going to get over Mikalakis' head and be in for a single as Brady Walsh has his first hit. He's aboard for the second time after walking in the second. And as the way this game has gone, even a 7-run lead does not feel safe here. St. Louis Park fully capable of putting some things together. And Hopkins, are we going to have a change perhaps as they're going to come out? I got to be honest, Olson to me is throwing the ball pretty well. I would be surprised if they came and got him right here.
I don't think they pull him. I think they're just talking about the game scenario situations, know about, you got a 7-run lead. You still have that potent offense that can put up more runs. Don't feel like we need to hold him to 0 here. Sacrifice a run for an out if you need to. Don't force anything. Get that first out. If it's a ground ball to the right side of the infield and the second baseman's moving to his left, our right, take the out at first. Let that runner go from first to second. That run really doesn't matter. I mean, for St. Louis Park, of course, they want to do whatever they can to get runners on base and score a run at a time, but 7 runs is a pretty big gap.
Regenti, the hitter here, takes a first pitch strike. He's been a tough out, a couple of walks and then a double.
I think Hopkins is in a situation where they're willing to trade outs for runs. I mean, they can do that and still get out of this with a victory.
High chopper to third. Perry up with it. Not going to be in time. Infield hit. It was just close enough that he couldn't really afford to try and see if it might go foul there. So it'll be a base hit and a couple on now for the Orioles with 1 out.
Yeah, good high chopper down the third baseline. Not a lot of speed on that one. Comes up clean and scoops. Good strong throw over to first. I don't think he gets him if the catcher or the first baseman comes up clean with the ball, but just sometimes you really can't do anything to get that out. That's just a good hit.
Farley, the batter here. He's had the biggest hit of the game for Park. A bases loaded triple in the third, and then he actually scored on the play as well on a throwing error. So that was a 5-run inning. Things were looking good for them then, but they haven't done nearly as much offensively since. At that point, they had 6 runs, and they've only scored 1 more since that time. Farley chased that one.
Nice breaking ball down on the turf. Different term to say. I don't think I've ever said that one. Down on the turf. I mean, that's another nice thing about catchers and practicing on this field is you know exactly what that ball is going to do when the ball is in the dirt, and you know it's a curveball. You know you can expect that ball to break a certain direction. On dirt, sometimes it's a little different.
Another one there. Nordine able to eat that one up, and it kind of gives your pitcher confidence that he can throw that with runners on and not, be as worried about it getting away.
The little thing for Hopkins, that the benefit of having this turf is they don't have to go through as many baseballs. Baseballs don't get dirty. They don't get scuffed up nearly as much. As long as the kids bring them back and get their free ice cream cone. Unfortunately, I don't have ice cream cones, but that's what they used to do when I was a kid, is you get a free freezy.
Oof. And there's a called third strike. Farley thought it was inside, but it will be out number 2. And Hokinson will be the hitter here for St. Louis Park.
That's a great pitch there, inside corner. Close enough to be called third strike. You want to be protecting the plate there, and it's a good breaking ball. Caught him off guard.
Hokinson had an RBI single in the 4th. He's 1 for 3. Just got a piece of that breaking ball.
Going back to this Park team, kind of building up their program from a few years ago when they weren't really much of a power. They have a pretty good youth program, and they actually had a kid, I think his name was Sam Hunt, that was, I think, a year ahead of Hokinson that really would have been a nice 1-2 punch. He ended up going to, I think he's at IMG Academy, and he had a scholarship to Vanderbilt. I don't know if that's still out there, but he's on, the USA traveling teams. He's on the home run derbies for USA Summer Baseball. And he was part of the park program until about 2 years ago.
Ooh, and here's a rope out to right field and a sliding catch. Wow, that was a tough chance in the sun. And Scolati making the play of the game right there defensively for the Royals. So Park in the 6th, no runs, a couple of hits, and they leave a couple on base. We go to the bottom of the 6th. It's 14-7 Royals.
If you love them enough to suck the snot out of their nose at 4 a.m., then surely you'll check nhtsa.gov/the right seat to make sure they're in the right car seat.
Oh, sweetie. Okay, you know what? Let's take off his sweatshirt. Get rid of pictures of him. You don't have to look at him. Goodbye, Dave.
Mom, you don't understand. He's tagged in like 400 of my posts.
I can cut out tags.
No, that's not how it works.
What is a tag?
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care would love to share their first with you.
If I could go back and change it all, I would. I think I'm gonna miss you the most. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Jack Primusberger stepping in to lead it off and takes a strike here from Boyum. The Royals hitting in the bottom of the 6th inning. Primusberger's 2 for 3, last time an RBI double. Hopkins leading at 14-7 here, trying to secure the Section 6 championship, and that'll be through for a base hit as they just keep on smoking the ball here. Pretty much every pitcher that Park has been able to put out there has had trouble getting outs against a good hitting lineup. Not Nordine. We're going to have a pinch hitter, Ryder Lane, here for Hopkins. Lane on the season is 3 for 20 as a hitter. Takes that one high and away. Nordine was 1 for 2 with a walk, and he'll presumably re-enter as the catcher if they need, to play in the field in the 7th. Chopper foul here. One thing it does too is Nordine on a super hot day like this gives him a little bit of a break not hitting in this inning if he needs to catch some more. A little pop up here. And racing over is Boyum in foul ground, the pitcher. That normally you'd think you'd want that to be the third baseman's ball. I don't know if he had a little trouble in the sun or whatever, but he didn't react real quick, but nice play by Boyum to get there.
Yeah, I think in this turf, third baseman's playing back pretty deep, and good range by Boyum over there to get that ball just in foul territory, that first out.
Scolati will hit here. He is 1 for 3. May have flipped to first. Primusberger back in. They call time. Here's Boyum taking some time here in the stretch. Runner is going as it's fouled away, and I've talked about this in previous games where you might say, you're up 7, why are you running? But when you keep in mind that there's a 10-run rule in effect, and you kind of owe it to your guys to keep trying to score and see if you can't get out of here 1 inning early.
Yeah, you don't want to lay off the throttle at all if you're Hopkins here. You want to try and end this game here in the 6th.
Especially in this kind of a game where there's been so much offense. Now, I know, if you're Park, you might possibly be a little irritated that they're running there, but I think that with this 10-run rule, that's something that's, it's different than the major leagues. Obviously, offense can happen. There's a nice pitch for a strike there. That was one of Boyum's better pitches of the game. Just kind of buckled his knees there with that breaking ball.
Yeah, and going back to that talk about the 10-run rule, you're at this point of the season, you're playing to advance to the state tournament. Even if you're losing, you got to understand and respect the decision from Hopkins to try and continue to be aggressive. That's just part of the game.
Runner is going again, and Primusberger will advance easily there on that pitch that was in the dirt or in the turf, as Drew said, is it more accurate. So 2-2 count here to the Royals right fielder who made that great catch to end the last inning. Hangs up high and it's full.
You mentioned to be a CCX Sports Highlight of the Week nominee, I think, right?
I would say definitely.
We'll see that on Facebook. You're on Facebook, right? No? Yeah. Give it a like.
Runner going again, fouled away. Now, that one I would sort of question because Hopkins has failed miserably trying to steal third. They've been out by a pretty good margin twice.
Yeah, it's pretty aggressive to be stealing third base, but if the pitcher's not paying attention to you and you get a decent lead and they're giving you that chance to steal a base, like you look at the second baseman, they're not really doing much to hold them on.
3-2 is just high, and Scarlatti will draw a walk.
Good pitch. Ended up being a good take. A little high in the zone.
Going to see another pinch hitter here for Hopkins as Chase Johnson will be the batter.
If you're Hopkins coaching staff here, you get a chance to give some of these bench players an opportunity to get up to the plate with late in the season in a section tournament and maybe build their confidence as hopefully they head into the state tournament here.
Don't see any on their stats, any at-bats for Chase this year. There's a strike. That one is outside, so 3-1. Boyum obviously here, he knows the top of the order is coming up too, and you got an inexperienced pinch hitter here. Would hate to lose him, but
yeah, you can't be worrying about who's on deck. You got to focus on this batter and try and get an out here.
Foul that one away as he shoots a strike in there.
Took a little bit off that one, didn't try and throw it too hard, focus more on just throwing it straight and accurate, and got that strike.
So 3-2 count here to Johnson. And a rip and a miss. And down on strikes he goes for out number 2, and now Perry will bat.
Again, on that third strike there, I think he did the same thing. Didn't try and throw too hard or aim too much. Just relied on his skill set and threw strikes right down the middle and was able to get that swinging strike.
Perry is 3 for 4. Last time he had a little blooper that found some space.
Now, if he throws one of those pitches that he threw at that last batter, Perry will drive that ball deep into the outfield, I have a feeling. I don't think we'll see Boyum throwing too many fastballs, not too hard.
There's a strike on the inside part, and it's 0-2.
You definitely can't groove one to this guy, but up 0-2, he's going to be protecting the plate. Expect a breaking ball or two here.
Little liner, that one is going to fall in for a hit and will score 1 run for sure. Going to hold that second runner at third as Perry trucks into second with a double. And it is 15-7 now, Royals.
Nice piece of hitting there by Perry. Took that outside pitch, fastball off the outside part of the plate, drove it to the left side of the field. Again, not the hardest hit ball. I've seen him hit many balls harder than that this year, and that went just over the third baseman's head and got that runner to come across the plate.
And Mauser will be the hitter. He is 3 for 4. There's a strike. That one misses 1-1. You might almost kind of think of pitching around him, but McGee is such a dangerous hitter after him too. Knocks it down to short, actually third, as a throw across is in time. Nice play to cut that one off, so the Royals get a run, but St. Louis Park stays alive to get one more at bat. We head to the 7th. It's 15-7 Hopkins.
Emotes say a lot, but they can't say it all. Think your guildmate is struggling? Try these dialogue options. Go beyond emotes. Check in with your guildmates at seizetheawkward.org.
Last week, Brandon met a girl on a dating app. One day after work, he finally found the courage to ask her out. No answer. He started to panic. Was he being too pushy? Maybe it was too...
Hey, sorry I didn't respond. I was driving. I would love to go on a date. How does tonight sound?
Brandon tried to play it cool, but inside he knew. A girl so smart, so responsible. She must be a keeper.
Welcome back here to Hopkins High School on a hot afternoon. One more chance here for St. Louis Park. It's a tall order, but based on the way the rest of this game has gone, it's not over yet. As Boyum, Schmitz, and Giovanelli will hit their 4, 5, 6 hitters against Gabe Olson of Hopkins as we begin inning number 7. Again, Hopkins needing just to win this game to be section champs. Park would need to complete a comeback here and then win a game 2 as well.
And I always say to my little leaguers, if we're down and we're getting blown out, I say, well, how are we going to win? Well, hey, it'd be a lot of fun if you won this and you went on to win the next one, right? It'd be a lot of fun. Let's have some fun. You know, you can only do what you can do. You go out there, have fun, play the game. You know, you're down 8. Hopkins has played pretty well. Outside of that one hit in the second inning, they've only really scored 3 runs other than that. So Hopkins has played a pretty solid game, but Park's got to be happy that they still have a chance. It's a slim chance, but they're still in this game in the 7th inning here.
Yeah, Boyum had an RBI double in the 2nd inning and then fly to right and a bouncer to short. So 1 for 3 right on that one as he fouls it straight back. And he smokes that one past Perry and into left field. So Boyum beginning the 7th with a solid line drive single here for Park. And actually last inning, they kind of deserved better probably than what they ended up with. They had a couple of strikeouts, but a couple of hits and then a liner to right field that was caught on a sliding catch that I thought it was going to be down and past him and you know, lead to a possibly big inning, but a nice play out there in right by Scolati.
Yeah, Hopkins crushed that ball to right field on a line, but a great play by the right fielder. Kept 2 runs off the board for Park and got Hopkins out of that inning.
Schmitz is 1 for 3. Hit the ball well in the 3rd. He lined out to center and then singled in the 5th. Runner is going. They're paying absolutely no attention to him. And Boyum will take 2nd easily there.
Yeah, if they're not holding you on, you want to get yourself out of that force out at second base. And, you know, not a huge play, but little things. And if you're Park, you got to build on those little things and try and inch back into this game and, you know, make it a 1-2 run game. And so you have a fighting chance.
That's the thing. If you look at it as, can we score 8 runs? That sounds hard. But if you say to each hitter, could you maybe get on?
Yep.
Yes.
Start moving those base runners around the base paths and see what happens. There you go. See if it'd be interesting to see if Hopkins appeals the check swing through, which I've never seen actually called, but that was close.
Going to be runners at the corners after the strikeout, but he advances on the wild pitch.
Yeah, and Hopkins here, you just want to remind your pitcher to throw strikes, keep throwing strikes. You have a good, solid defense behind you. We're going to get an out. If they hit the ball to us, have confidence, trust us that we'll get an out, 1 out at a time to get us out of this game and get us on to the state tournament.
Giovanelli, the hitter. And we're going to have a balk called against Olson, so that will bring a run in. And things not going as smoothly as Hopkins was hoping here in the top of the 7th. So runner to second, now 15-8. Last time up, Giovanelli hit the ball probably as hard as anybody all day, but it turned into a line-out double play as he hit it right at Perry, the third baseman, and his teammate at first, Schmitz, was caught with no chance to get back.
Yeah, nice play by Perry over that third to make a nice catch, and then good strong throw over to first to double him up. You try to see if Park tries to move the runner over to third, because again, they're not holding him on, and that allows for better defensive positioning, but you never want to make an out at third base. You hear that, and you never want to make an out, period, right? But especially at third base, because it takes a runner out of scoring position. And then at this point in the game, Park, you want to do whatever you can to put 1 run up at a time.
Hard hit, but right at short, and they won't have a chance for the double play, but it is an important first out. Hard hit ball, nothing wrong with that swing, but he drives it right at Primusberger there.
Yeah, another tough out. You tip your cap to their shortstop that time.
Helfman, the hitter. Another one to short. Primusberger will throw across the diamond, and there's out number 2. Runner advances to third, but they come 1 out closer to securing the section title. Henry Odens will bat for Park.
Yeah, nice composure there by Primusberger. The runner running right in front of him. Most other scenarios within a game, you're going to try and make that throw to third base. It's an easy out at third base. He could have had him, but he knows the routine play is over to first base. Take that out. Get yourself 1 out within 1 out to go to state tournament.
Odens fouling it away. He had a walk his first time up, then a ground out and a strikeout. Curveball knocked down to second. Mikalakis up with it, flip to first, and Hopkins is the Section 6 4A champion as they win a wild one here today over St. Louis Park, securing a 15-8 win in the heat. And they are going to represent this section at the state tournament. And Drew, I know last year they didn't get to have a season. They felt like they had a team that maybe had a chance to be a state contender. And now with some new players, a younger group, they come back and really get the job done. An impressive playoff run, considering they weren't necessarily a heavy favorite coming into this tournament.
Yeah, the Wayzata program had a great regular season. They were a really dominating team, and number 1, number 2, top of the rankings throughout most of the season. But this Hopkins team really showed up in the section tournament. Their bats showed up throughout. Good 1-2 pitching and good relief pitching to fill in the gaps. And for this Hopkins program to be headed back to state is a really good sign. And really powerful offensive lineup, especially the top half. But when you can get hits on that 5 through 9 side, turn that lineup over, you're going to start to put a lot of runs up on the board. And that's what you saw today from this Hopkins Royals team. And then for this Park team, great program. Growing, taking on a big program like Hopkins. A good season for Brian Kelly and his Orioles. But, caps off to both programs, and good luck to Hopkins moving on to the state tournament.
Win number 16 this season for the Royals, and it's the most special one because it means they are headed to the state tournament. As Drew said, congratulations to both teams here and good luck to Hopkins as they move on in this 4A tournament. Hope you've enjoyed this one, and thanks so much for watching high school baseball on CCX. For Drew Keogh and all of our crew, again, your final score, Hopkins 15, St. Louis Park 8. Good night from Hopkins.